Hey, we're live. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, live on Facebook, answering your questions about investing in tax liens and tax deeds. So I'm on StreamYard. This is being streamed to Facebook from StreamYard. And I'm here in my living room today, not in my office, as where I usually am when I'm doing this. But I'm here to answer your questions about investing in tax liens and tax deeds. So when you come on, let me know what state you're in, because investing in tax liens and tax deeds is different in every state. Not only is it different in every state, it's different on the different online platforms. So even if you could be investing in two different counties in the same state, and they're on different platforms, and it could be different on the different investing platforms that they're on. So let me know what your question is, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. I'll do my best. And if I don't have the answer, I will point you in the right direction. Okay. All right. So let me know what your question is about investing in tax liens or redeemable deeds or tax deeds. And for those of you who don't know the difference, when you buy a tax lien, you are not purchasing a property. You are paying the back taxes. This is usually done at an auction. Sometimes the interest rate is bid down, and it is the investor willing to take the lowest rate of interest that gets the lien. Sometimes the price of the lien is bid up, and it's the investor who's willing to pay the most for it that gets the lien. But it has the same effect on your lien. It effectively lowers the interest that you're getting. But the reason a lot of times why investors are willing to do that is that once they have the lien, they could pay the subsequent taxes. Because if you go to a tax sale right now, they're selling last year's taxes, but this year's taxes are due. So in some states, you get to pay the current taxes and any subsequent taxes that come due, and you get the statutory rate. In some states, you get the statutory rate. In some other states, you only get a specific rate, or maybe the rate that you bid at the sale. In Arizona, for instance, you only get the rate that you bid at the sale. In New Jersey, you get the statutory rate. In Florida, once the redemption period is over and you do the tax deed application, you get the statutory rate, which is 18%. And in other states, you get a specific rate for the subsequent taxes. Like in Indiana, it's 5% that you get on your subsequent taxes. But in Indiana, where they do pay premium, it means they pay a separate amount to get the lien. You get paid your interest on the full amount that you bid. So it is a good deal. All right, so that is a tax lien. And I was just, for those of you who just came on, I was just giving the difference between a tax lien and a tax deed and a redeemable deed for those of you who are unaware, who might be new to the game. So I just got finished talking about what a lien is, that you're not buying the property, you're just paying the, and that's my cat, Angel, who's about 20 years old, and still healthy. So when you buy a tax lien, you're basically paying someone's taxes and putting a lien on the property. You do not have any ownership of the property at all. But when you buy a deed, you are actually buying the property and you have full ownership of the property. A redeemable deed is something in between. You buy the property at the sale, but you don't actually own it until the redemption period is over. All right, so that's the basic difference between a tax lien, a tax deed, and a redeemable deed, the quick and dirty version. And if you need more help, if you want to know more about investing in tax liens and tax deeds and the 3 things that you need to have to be successful at it, then you want to sign up for my masterclass, free masterclass that we're doing on the 16th of November. It's a Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. And if my assistant Nicole is with me, she can put in the she could put that into the comments. The sign up, where you go to sign up, it is free. It is at taxlienlady.com/tax sale success masterclass. There is a dash in between those words, tax sale success masterclass. And you could sign up for free and join us on not this Thursday night, but next Thursday night. And right after this, I'm going to go vote. It is voting day here in the US. And so I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. And thank you, Nicole, for putting that link in. And I don't know if we had any questions ahead of time. Sometimes people put their questions in ahead of time, either in our Facebook group or on our business page where we're doing this live right now, or sometimes on our YouTube channel. Okay. And thank you, Nicole. Nicole is going to look and see if we've gotten any questions. And sometimes people email me with questions too. But if you email me the day of this Ask the Tax Lien Lady live, I'm probably not going to get your question in time for the call, because I will tell you that today I did not get a chance to look at my email yet. We have some exciting things coming up for you this month and for 2024. So I already told you about the masterclass that we're doing next Thursday, where you could find out about the 3 things that you have to have to be a successful tax lien or tax deed investor. And but beyond that, I do have some special savings for you for Black Friday. So keep your eye on your inbox for Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving, for our Black Friday sale. We'll have some special savings, and I like to do things that I've never done before. So I'll give savings on some things that I have never done before, and some deep discounts. So you'll want to keep an eye. Hi, Jumi. And where are you from? So let me know when you come on. Let me know what state you're in, because as I mentioned, and I mention this all the time, tax lien and tax deed investing is so different in every state. So if you have a question for me, I need to know what state you're investing in order to answer your question thoroughly and succinctly. Okay. Okay. Florida. Well, here's a couple of things about Florida. First of all, are you interested in tax liens or tax deeds? Because the tax deeds in Florida happen all the time. And a lot of them are online, some of them are live, but they happen all year round. Which is different than a lot of tax deed states, which each county only has a sale usually once a year. But in Florida, Florida's really a lien state. Their lien sales are in May. And it's great that you're interested in deeds, because they happen all the time and the liens only happen in May, right? But here's why the deeds happen all the time in Florida. Because lien investors don't just get to foreclose on the property when the redemption period is over. They have to put the property into a tax deed sale. They have to do what's called a TDA, or tax deed application. And that makes a continual feed of liens into these deed sales. So there are deed sales all the time in Florida. Okay. That's the pro, right? That's the benefit to that. Now, the con is that because there's all these liens going into deed sales all the time, there's not really big deed sales like there are in other states. So there might only be a few properties. Some of these counties will have deed sales more than once a month. They might even have them every week or every other week. Okay. And so they might only have a handful of properties in this sale. And a lot of times, now here's a tip for you, Jumi. When you go to those deed sales, make sure you pick deed sales that have a lot available, and make sure you pick a few properties to bid on. Do your due diligence, pick a few properties to bid on, because a lot of times when you go to the sale, there's nothing left, because owners of those properties, right now, they really have to pay off that lien before they lose their property. And they have until it gets sold in that deed sale to do that. And so a lot of times people will come they have sometimes up until the day before to pay that and take it out of the sale. Okay, so you want to identify a lot. You want to go to sales that have a lot available, and you want to identify a few properties in the sale, not just one or two. Okay. Hey, Joe. I don't know if you're here with us, but I see that you've left a message. You have a question about hiring an agent in Kentucky. Where can you find an agent? You don't need an agent in Kentucky, and I don't know where you can find an agent for Kentucky, and here's why. Kentucky is a little different than other tax lien states. It is a tax lien state, but you all you need an agent for in Kentucky is just to go pick up any winning bids that you have, because it's not really an auction. They make the list available, and you have to submit the liens that you want with the payment, and they will partition the liens to the investors. Okay. And there's a couple of things you have to know about Kentucky. You have to register with the state ahead of time. The sales usually happen in the summer, like June or July. And you have to register ahead of time with the state. Now, if you don't register with the state, you could still invest in Kentucky, but you can't spend more than $10,000, and you can't buy more than 3 liens in one state. Okay. Yeah, and I do remember seeing that question, Nicole, and I forget where. And I wasn't able to get to it. So thank you for bringing up that question. Yeah, I do not know of an agent in Kentucky. They do, but they do their sales a little differently, and you might not need an agent. Okay, and you're welcome, Jumi, for the tip. Any other questions? Any other questions? I know we have a couple more people on now. So let me know. Say hello. Let me know who you are, what state you're in, and give me your questions. I'm not on Facebook with you. My assistant Nicole is on Facebook with you. I'm on StreamYard. I'm doing this on StreamYard, and we're streaming it into Facebook. It's just easier for me to do that way. Easier for me to see what's going on. Actually, when I do this from StreamYard, I can see your comments. So go ahead and put into the comments any questions that you have. Say hello and let me know what state you're in. It's nice to know that somebody's watching, and it's nice to know who's watching. Okay, Ian from Cook County, California wants to invest in Cook County and is wondering if I have any tips for California. California is a deed state, and a lot of the sales are online. A lot of them are on Bid for Assets, but some counties have their own website. So not all counties are on Bid for Assets, and not all counties are online. Some of them have live auctions. So what you want to do is you want to get in touch with the Cook County Treasurer. So you could Google Cook County Treasurer and then find out when the auction is, because it's only once a year, and whether it's live or online, and what platform they use. Okay, Jimmy, that's a good tip for Nicole, for my assistant who's in charge of that stuff. Oh, okay, Nicole. Nicole says we get a lot of hate comments when we do that. That's all right, because for all my followers that follow me, we send them an email and let them know that we're going live. And then we also put we put a post in here letting people know that we're going live. So we don't have to do that. Okay, but thank you. We also have, just to let you know, we also have a private Facebook group. And I do a tip in this private Facebook group on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And the group is at facebook.com/groups/ in tax lien investing success. That is the name of the group, tax lien investing success. And I'm sure Nicole will put the link in there for you in the comments for you for the group. If anybody's interested in joining the group, it is free to join. You do have to answer some questions. We have to make sure that you're not going to solicit the group and that you agree to our terms and that you're interested in tax liens or tax deeds. Otherwise, you really shouldn't join anyway. But it's another way to get your questions answered from me and from other peers that are in the group, other investors that are in the group. We have it's quite a big group. We have over 1,000 members in that group. And Nicole has just put the link for you in the comments if you'd like to join the group. You cannot see what is posted or cannot post in the group until you join because it is a private Facebook group. Okay, and sometimes we have things that only go on inside that group. Sometimes we have challenges that only go on inside that group. Okay, but we don't have any challenges or workshops coming up. We do have right now I am doing an advanced tax lien investing secrets training. So this was a paid training for 8 weeks. So that's why we don't have anything else coming up right now because I'm busy doing this training. And we do have the masterclass coming up next Thursday that I already told you about. So if you missed that, just listen to the replay and the link is in the comments to join the masterclass. It is free. We will also have a Black Friday sale coming up this month where I'm going to give some special discounts on things that I've never done before. So keep your eye on your inbox. Okay. We'll find out more about that on Thanksgiving. Okay. We'll get an email out the evening of Thanksgiving, and that's when we'll start the sale, and it will go through Cyber Monday. Okay, any questions? And anybody else want to say hello? Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from, where you're investing. I would love to know if you've had success with tax liens or tax deeds, or if you're just starting out. Or if you're just starting out. And Ian, is Ian here, Nicole, or was that a question that you got ahead of time? Yeah, let me know. I know there's a few people watching because I can see how many are watching. I just can't see who you are and where you're from. That was a question from YouTube. Yeah, and if you're not on Facebook, we do put these on YouTube because not everybody likes Facebook. But I like to do the lives here. I like to do the lives on Facebook because it's easy to do it here. Hi, Teresa. Maryland, just starting. Maryland tax sales happen in May and June. I do have a done with you training specifically for Maryland, by the way. And just a little heads up, that will be discounted for Black Friday. So keep your eyes open for that. There are 1 or 2 sales coming up now in Maryland, but most of them will happen in May and June. And here's the other thing I have to tell you about Maryland, Teresa. Every county is different. Counties, there's 2 different bidding procedures in Maryland, and every county has a different one. And every county has a different interest rate anywhere, and it varies greatly, anywhere from 6% to like 20%. So, hi, Franklin. Has anyone experienced tax liens in Paterson, New Jersey? Um, I have not invested in Paterson, although I know a lot of investors who have invested in Paterson, New Jersey. And Paterson, years ago, the tax collector in Paterson got in trouble because they did not make subsequent taxes available. They just sold if there was a property that was sold in the tax sale, they didn't let the investor pay the subsequent taxes. They would just sell it in the sale every year. Well, you can't do that in New Jersey. So they finally stopped doing that. They don't, now they do it the right way. Yeah, but I don't personally invest in Paterson because personally I stay out of the big cities because you have to know an area. Paterson's a pretty big city closer to New York. You have to know the area. So I would suggest that if you're investing in Paterson, you either know the area or you get somebody that does. Okay, and Jumi is asking, in Texas, what's the interest rate and how long do I have to submit for a tax deed application? In Texas, it's not like Florida. It's a redeemable deed, not a lien. You do not have to submit for a tax deed application. You just get the property at the end of the redemption period. For non-homesteaded properties, it is 6 months. For homesteaded properties, it is 2 years. And it is a 25% penalty, not an interest rate, not an annualized interest rate. It's a penalty. So if it pays off in a month, you get 25%. If it pays off in 6 months, you get 25%. But if it doesn't pay off for a year, if it goes over 6 months, you get 50%, but you don't get more than that. So if it's a homesteaded property and it takes 2 years, you're still only going to get 50%, which is pretty darn good. Okay. And you're welcome, Franklin. Okay, any other questions? Loving these questions. Yes, it is very lucrative, Jumi, to Texas is, and it's also very competitive because of that. So stay out of the big areas like Dallas. They're very competitive. Find the little out of the way places. Many of them are not online. There are only a few counties in Texas that are online. But you're probably better off with the live sales in the out of the way places. Okay, Texas is a very big state, lots of counties. Find some smaller counties that are out of the way. Some of them are also online, by the way, which make them more competitive. So if you could find the live sales and attend the live sales, that's better. Hey, Bob, is vacant land a good way to invest? Yes, I like vacant land. The trick with vacant land is that you have to do a little more due diligence to make sure it's buildable. All right. Now, when you're investing in liens online, you don't always, in the online sales, you don't always get to physically look at the property for liens, right? Because you're going to invest in a lot of them. You don't know which ones you're going to get. And if it's online, it's far away. It kind of doesn't make sense to look at it live. But you want to look at it in an overhead. You want to see a satellite photo. You want to see the map. And you want to see the property boundaries. You want to make sure you know what you're looking at. But with land, you've got to know a little more than that. If you don't get to physically look at it, you might want to have somebody physically look at it, or you might want to talk to the zoning officer. As a matter of fact, you do want to talk to the zoning officer. Make sure it's buildable land. Certain things will prevent it from being buildable, right? If it doesn't have the road frontage, if it's not wide enough or deep enough, if it's too steep. Those are things that you have to watch out for. But I like vacant land. It's not as competitive as houses. And my friend Mark Podolsky, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's known as the Land Geek. He made his fortune by buying and selling land. And he talks about selling land with owner financing. So if he were to get land, like if you were to get land at a tax sale and then sell it at a tax deed sale where you're actually buying the property, right? So that you could sell it right away. You could sell it on owner financing, and your first payment would be what you paid for the property. So on your first payment, your down payment, you get your initial investment back right away, and then you get cash flow over the next few years, right? Or few months, depending on how long you want to stretch it out for. Okay. All right, Bob, and what state are you in? Yeah, it's always good to let me know what state are you in when you ask the question. And land is a good way to invest. Oh, Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin is a deed state, but they don't have much available. But they do have online deed sales in Wisconsin. Now, for those of you in these states that have online deed sales and you want more help with the online deed investing, I do have a course just for online deed sales. It was just updated last year, and it is called, you could go to online deeds, onlinedeeds.com, I think. And Nicole, check that out, onlinedeeds.com. Does that go to our website for the online tax deed sales course? Online tax deeds, I think, is the name of the website that will take you to the course. And it was just updated last year. Yeah, see if that's right, Nicole. Yeah, Wisconsin has online deed sales, and we already talked about California. We already talked about Florida. They both have online tax deed sales. New York has online tax deed sales. And guess what? If you guys are on my list and you heard my every Saturday I send out an audio message. And if you heard my message this past Saturday, it was about the Supreme Court ruling, how that's affecting lien sales in some states. Well, in New York, it affected the lien sales in New York. See, New York can do both. Like most of the counties are deed counties, but the cities can do what they want. But they've halted the lien sales in New York. Deed sales are still fine, are still going on, but not lien sales. So, just to let you know, but there are online deed sales in New York. The online lien sale, there is an online lien sale. Nassau County has an online lien sale, but that right now it's halted. It's usually in February, but unless the governor changes the ruling, there's no lien sales right now in New York. Okay, but Michigan has online deed sales. Now they happen in September. So they're done for this year. But there's a lot of states that have online deed sales. Okay, and Nicole has put the direct link in the comments for you for the online deed sale course. And thank you, Nicole. She's also put in the link for you to go to the website and get my state guide, which tells you what happens in every state. So you go to my website, taxlienlady.com, and get the state guide. Okay. And we had another question. Is tax lien investing the same in the same family as tax lien overages? No, not really. I do not do overages, and tax lien overages are not what you want. Tax deed overages. Tax lien overages don't mean anything. Like if I go to a tax lien sale in New Jersey and I pay premium and there's an overage, that doesn't go to anybody. You can't get that overage. The owner of the property can't get that overage. It's a lien overage. It's not a deed overage. The lien overage goes back to the investor when the lien redeems. If it doesn't redeem, it doesn't go back to the investor. The county gets to keep it. Not the county, the municipality gets to keep it. So if you pay an overage for a lien, it's not an overage that the owner can claim. All right. So the overages that you're talking about are tax deed overages, and they only happen in tax deed states. Okay. They do happen in Florida, by the way, because Florida properties have to go into a tax deed sale. Okay, but they only happen when the property itself is bid on, not when the lien is bid on. Okay, so overages are not something I do. I teach people how to bid at the tax sale, how to get liens and make money from liens and make money from deeds, how to buy deeds and how to buy liens, and profitable liens and deeds that make you money, right? I don't do overages because it can't be done in every state. And you really have to know what you're doing. There's a lot of legal stuff you have to know to do the overages. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, and you're welcome. All right. Any other questions? I'm loving your questions today. And thank you for showing up and asking me your questions, because that's why I show up. I show up here to answer your questions, and it's no fun for me if I come and show up and nobody's here and nobody's asking any questions. Then I have to come up with my own questions, right? And answer them, which is kind of easy to do because I just can, come up with the questions that people ask me all the time. So if there are no other questions, I am going to end this Facebook Live so that I can go vote. And I hope you're all going to go vote today. So last call. This is the last call for questions. And Nicole, if we have no other questions, we're going to end this Facebook Live, Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, and we'll be here next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll be in the group, in the Facebook group on Thursday at 12 p.m. This Thursday, I'll be there. Next Thursday, I have a tax sale. So hopefully I'll get done with the tax sale and I'll do it from the road. But this Thursday, I don't have a tax sale. So don't stop, stay gold. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So, but I'm glad that you enjoyed this Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. And I'll see you next week. And if you join the Facebook group, I'll see you in the group on Thursday. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Bye.